know how to pleasure a woman is not realistic at all. It's another myth that we have, or that people should get married. I mean, people who have basically been told all their lives to run away from sex, get married, and then they're expected to start loving sex. That's absolutely absurd. I think it's absolutely absurd. Do you understand? You don't go all your life hating, running away from the food, and then somebody just comes one day and says, okay, now you're married. I want you to start loving it. Do you understand? And then there are expectations of women that, come, you should be able to jump on him, do everything, climb on him, climb the ceiling fan, jump on the burglary proof. Come on. You basically have told the person all her life that she should shy away from sex, and then you expect that to happen without a transition. It's entirely unrealistic as well. Then, some people believe, I don't know, but let me just say, because sometimes I think that people have perhaps evolved beyond this, but I'm just still going to say it. Some people believe that sex is for procreation. Again, it is not. It's for your pleasure, it's for bonding, it's for really enjoying yourselves and enjoying your bodies as a couple, which is why I love the postmenopausal period. When women reach menopause, I absolutely love it. I just feel like that's God's way of telling you to just keep having sex without the fear of getting pregnant, and just keep really enjoying sex. And basically that, so, if there's any woman here who is in menopause or is postmenopausal, please, I'm rooting for you, basically. Yeah, so that's some of the beliefs that we have. And some people believe that what we call foreplay, I like to still call it sex, but what we call foreplay, very popularly called foreplay, some people believe it's a nuisance, like it's just a necessary nuisance. It's just do this. The point is still for us to get to penetration. But the thing is that, like I said before, research has shown us that a lot of women require clitoral stimulation to orgasm. If a woman can orgasm without your penis going anywhere near her, and everything that you do in that space of time is classified as foreplay. Do you understand? Because a lot of people classify all of, as far as penetration has not happened, a lot of people are still calling it foreplay. Do you get? If a woman can orgasm from all of that foreplay, and you think that foreplay is a necessary nuisance, then you basically have just taken 70 to 80% of women's pleasure pathway, and then you have called it an unnecessary nuisance. Basically, like you've taken the entire cycle of how a lot of women can really enjoy pleasure, and then you've just called it a nuisance. So please, foreplay is not a nuisance. I don't even like to call it foreplay, but for the sake of understanding, which is what is popularly called, it is not a nuisance at all. Then let me just say one last one so that I think I'm going too much into professor mode. So let me just say one more last one, and then we can take the other question.
We want the professor mode. We want to.
Okay. So another one that I hear a lot is that for sex to be satisfying, it has to go beyond one round. The truth is, I don't know what's going on in people's minds. If you want to go 2 rounds, like both of you want to go and you enjoy, fantastic. But there's no compulsion too. So when people say, we just did 1 round, it's not enough. We need, and please understand, by 1 round, my understanding of a round is that both the man and the woman have orgasmed. So both of them have gone through the entire cycle. Sorry, I think somebody's on, so I'm getting a bit of noise. Thank you. Okay, so 1 round in my definition means that both the man and the woman have gone through the entire sexual response cycle. So they've gone from desire, arousal, play to orgasm, and then they're back in resolution phase, basically gone around that cycle. And that's 1 round for both of them. And then we're saying we've done that, so we must go 2 rounds, or if not, we're not doing well sexually. That's a bloody lie, and it's just unnecessary pressure. If that's what you want to do, fantastic. If it doesn't put you under pressure, but there's no compulsion to do it. There's absolutely no compulsion to do it. Then some people think that if a couple love each other, sex will automatically be great. Like I said, nobody came from heaven knowing how to do sex. We learn it. So you could even love each other, and sex might not work out. Excuse me. So you know what we see in movies, what Hollywood tries to sell to us, and all of these movies try to sell to us, is that man meets woman, they're both across the room, their eyes just lock, and then they're walking towards each other, and then this chemistry can, I mean, the chemistry is enough to even take out the, I mean, to power the whole PHCN grid in Nigeria, and they are walking towards each other, magnetic glance, and then they come and then they start kissing, whatever. I mean, that is fantasy. It doesn't mean it can't happen from time to time, but that's largely fantasy. A couple can love each other and still struggle sexually for many reasons, from physiological reasons to psychological reasons to a whole lot of reasons. So a couple can love each other but still struggle sexually. And I think I'm just going to say one more. Sorry, just one more. And I'm just going to say this perhaps for the ladies. Only men should initiate sex. That's not true. Both the man and the woman should be able to initiate sex, because aside from the whole pleasure that you enjoy during sex, the initiation itself, the initiation that happens before you both start to, touch and all of that, makes one feel desired. And trust me, men also want to feel that you are turned on by them. Your man also wants to feel like you look at him and you are turned on, or that you find him desirable. So it's not just the woman that wants to feel that way. The man also wants to feel that way. So please don't let's think that, oh, it's only men that should initiate. Nobody said, I don't know who writes these things, honestly, but nobody said that, and that is absolutely not true. And that's a limiting belief that we need to do away with. Both the man and the woman should initiate sex, can initiate sex. It's not one person's sole responsibility to initiate sex. So I hope those have covered some of the beliefs.
Professor, allow me a song. Thank you so much. That was a beautiful one. I don't know. Just like you said, who did this to us, actually? Who did this to us? Who gave us all these interpretations?
Absolutely.
And it is high time we come to understand the real thing about sex and how it works. For those of us that are here, that are family, everybody here is a family. Everybody here is married. And everybody here is about to marry, or some are divorced and planning to get into another marriage. This is very important that we listen to it. And if you have young people that are planning to get married around you, those are the things you can give them as gifts. These are the things you can give as gifts. So when you were talking, you mentioned that certain percentage of women, the penetration sex is not really sex for them. So we have some men here. Please, loud it, let them know that thing they call foreplay, that is not the main thing, can be main thing
for a lot of women.
Yeah. Can you please loud it and let people, so we're trying to teach ourselves here.
Yeah.
So that people will understand that, see, we have a lot of myths that we have been living our life by. And this is why it looks as if this present generation, we see them as wild. And the truth is, they are not wild. They have information. They know what it is, and they go out for it. And we're trying to label them and to box them up like they did to us. And to understand this, that children, they are exposed to a lot of information.
Absolutely.
They're exposed to a lot. So if you are one of those people that are condemning this generation, please, they are living their life. Oh. They are living their life. So I want you to just
talk about that.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm basically, let me just also say this. There are different ways that a woman can enjoy pleasure, and research has shown us that the way the neural network branches in a woman can affect how she feels pleasure. So for some people, there are more nerve endings around the clitoris. For some, the vagina. For some, maybe around the G spot. Some around the A spot. Whatever it is, basically. And the truth is that a high percentage of women will require clitoral stimulation to orgasm. It doesn't mean that you're not going to have penetration or any of that. Please understand. It doesn't mean that because I said that, it then means that I'm saying you should never. No, please understand that. That's not what I'm saying at all. But it means that you need to understand her pleasure. You need to understand her body. Yeah. And I get a complaint a lot from women who say, oh, my husband doesn't really get this concept because he says the people he's been with in the past were able to have vaginal orgasm, so something must be wrong with me. The truth is, nothing is wrong if a woman orgasms via her clitoris. Do you understand? Some women will orgasm via vaginal penetration as well, some clitoral and what have you. But you need to understand who you. It's not about the general population. You're not dealing with the general population. It's not a community project at all. It is you and your partner. And so you need to understand how she receives pleasure. And if you're working with a woman who really enjoys clitoral stimulation, one of the things that you can do is to bring in clitoral stimulation even during intercourse. Yeah. So what happens when you're penetrating her and she's someone who really enjoys clitoral stimulation? What happens is this: she's not really enjoying much pleasure. She's feeling that something is inside there, but she might not really be enjoying much pleasure. Do you understand? And over time, that understanding and the experience teaches her that there's no pleasure in this for me. Yeah. And then she starts to see it as a chore. Yeah. Imagine somebody asking you to do something that you don't enjoy. Yeah. So she starts to see it as a chore. So what you can do as a man is either give her, I know some people like to get her to orgasm before they penetrate. It works for some people, and if that works for you, fantastic. But what I also like to say is so that the woman does not become dissociated from intercourse, which is what a lot of men enjoy, so that she's still feeling good even while you are penetrating, so that it's not as if, oh, he has done my own, now it's time for him to do his own, just do and let's go, Sha. Do you understand? So that she's also enjoying something while you're having intercourse. You want to include clitoral stimulation even while you are penetrating. So what happens is at that point, you are enjoying, she's enjoying. Yeah, you're enjoying, she's enjoying. And intercourse doesn't necessarily now seem like such a bad idea. So the association of pleasure from the clitoris, even while you're having intercourse, now can kind of become associated with intercourse. So she's no longer looking at it as, oh, this thing is not really, I don't really enjoy. What's the point? I'm just doing it for him. It becomes, oh, I can get pleasure even while he's getting his pleasure. So there's no need for me to feel bad about intercourse. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So that's one thing that you can do so that that pleasure goes around for everybody, basically.
So that everything goes around, goes around.
Yeah.
I'm also learning for myself, actually. I'm learning for myself. In family meeting, people know that I can be very vulnerable. So I'm also learning for myself. I'm not, so if you are here and you are not learning, yo, okay, so we just talked about for the women, saying that the men should understand that it's not only the penetration for the woman.
Yeah.
So most of the time, we, the woman, we don't even know what the man wants. Is it about the reading alone for them or something? Is it about, what is it? What is even checked for women?
Okay. Okay, before I talk, please permit me, can we ask some of the men to talk about this as well?
Yeah.
I'd like that. I mean, I'd like this to be very interactive because everybody's just keeping quiet and it's just me and a Buddha talking. Right. So please, I really would like some of the men to talk. So I will just ask the question now to say, so what should the women also know about the men? But before I answer, men, I can see some men in the house. So please just tell us what you think that women should know.
Call the names. You can see the names.
Yeah, so these guys have been too silent. This is a sex part.
Okay. Let me just say this because I have to exit in a moment. I have another meeting.
All right, sir.
I wouldn't know. I had asking you to be in professor's mode. I wouldn't know who she's referring to. But then, let me just say this. Most of the things you have said actually go a long way to support what I have been saying. For example, there is this erroneous impression among women that it is the responsibility of the man to initiate sex. Nothing can be further from the truth.
Absolutely.
Yes, because of the social upbringing, we were brought up to believe that it is a man's responsibility. And that is actually one of the source of problem in marriages, when people were going with this unrealistic expectation okay, religiously we have been told, and I think you have also corroborated the fact that people have premarital sex is not a guarantee that when you get into marriage, it's going to be pleasure as usual. So many factors will come into play, and you will realize that all the experiences you have acquired, those realities will turn them down and they won't be useful. But then there is this erroneous impression that, okay, it is the responsibility of the man. And if my husband is not initiating intimacy, then I better keep short. I think it is unrealistic. Nothing can be further from the truth. That is number one. Number two, there is this also erroneous impression that it is the responsibility of the man to just satisfy the woman. And so some women don't actually contribute. And in a way, this tends to diminish the pleasure that's supposed to go with intimacy. Because when you get into the mood and you realize that, yes, you are active, you are interested, but then your woman is like, what is it?
Just do it. Oh.
Just do it and go. Then, like Olawumi said, some women have that notion, what is this thing now? Is it food? Let me tell you, for some men, it can be food, it can be medicine. And if he's hungry for it and you are not giving, you are starving him. If he's sick and you are not treating him with appropriate dosage, right, you are not helping his ailment to go. So I think this little I will say, so that I will also not get into you and the professor's mood. So it's been a pleasure. Well, I thank you for the
Thank you so much. That was great. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I must say that I really appreciate your joining this meeting. And for the house to know, this is my lecturer from first degree, Professor Abdulrazak Oniye. Thank you so much, Prof, for joining. He's actually a prof. So,
thank you so much, Prof.
So thank you so much, San. Thank you for the contribution. I really appreciate that.
Yes,
thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so allow me. So who else is in the house that want to tell us?
We have a lot of men. At least I'm saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. At least I'm saying 7 men. I mean, the ones that I can actually say, I can tell their names from their gender from the names. At least 7. But I mean, maybe as we keep going, they might contribute. But Prof said some very, very important things, you know. And I touched on one of them, which was not it's not the sole responsibility of the man to initiate sex. Sex is not, and again, you know what, a lot of us grow up thinking, because of the way we are brought up, there's that belief that sex is for the man's pleasure. So a lot of us have that thinking, that mentality that sex is I'm doing it for him. Sex is for the man's pleasure. As a matter of fact, I've had lots and lots. I mean, I've had lots and lots of people say things like that, oh, maybe when they were getting married, a mom, a auntie, you know, said, oh, do it for your husband, do that kind of thing. Do you understand? And then even when you go for weddings, even till date, you would hear things like, madam, now that you are married, give him any time he wants to, blah, 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 blah. So what was I, sorry, I saw a comment, I was sidetracked by the comment. So basically, people are saying that, madam, give him any time he wants and what have you and all of that. But the truth is that,
how are you?
Ooh, sorry, please, somebody's mic is, okay, thank you. So basically the truth is that I'm a mutual pleasure advocate, and I don't believe that sex is for any one person alone. It's for both the man and the woman's pleasure. It is for your pleasure, it's for your enjoyment, it's for your connection, it's for your bonding. And I tell women this, as a woman, you're basically a walking bundle of pleasure. You have so many, I know we talk about the clitoris a lot, but you have so many erogenous zones all over your body, your mind, first of all, and then your entire body, the erogenous zones all over, like you basically are a walking bundle of pleasure as a woman. And then you look at yourself and you think that sex is for the man. Oh no, oh no. If you even look at how women enjoy pleasure and even orgasm, so we have women that could orgasm from nipple stimulation, clitoral stimulation, G-spot stimulation, vaginal stimulation, A-spot stimulation. Like on just one hand, I'm naming like 5. Combined stimulation, I've even gone beyond 5 now. For a lot of men, not to diminish the men's pleasure, but I'm just saying, like, if you look at it, a lot of men will either orgasm from their penis or from prostate stimulation if they're adventurous men. But you find that us women can orgasm in so many different ways. So how can you look at yourself as a woman and say, no, 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 God made sex for men, or sex is meant for the men? No, that's not true at all. Sex is for both the man and the woman, and they both should enjoy it together. And there's another thing that Prof said about, you know, engaging. So the woman allowing the man to do all the work, even during. Yeah. So again, sometimes these things have a lot of babies. Yeah. So again, there's the part of the woman being responsible for her pleasure, which I want to touch on. But there are also babies in terms of factors that could affect why she's not responding even during sex. Do you understand? So if she's not enjoying how she's been stimulated, if she feels like we're not connecting, but you just want sex from me. Do you understand that kind of thing? So there are a lot of reasons why a woman would not engage, but let me not even go too much into that. Let me just stick with the fact that even during sex, and please understand, I mean everything, not just intercourse, the woman should also be responsible for her pleasure. The man, it's not the role of the man to give you pleasure. Like, it's not something you give, it's something you both enjoy together. Do you understand? It's not his role to give you pleasure. It's something you both enjoy together. So you are enjoying pleasure together. You as a woman know your body, and then you can guide your man. You can show him how to touch you, how you want to be touched. So, you know, sometimes men are very enthusiastic. Oh, baby, okay, let's do like this. Okay, turn your head, turn your leg, raise up your leg. He basically, I like to say this, he's basically hustling for his orgasm. He's hustling for his pleasure. So he's going after what he wants. What stops you as a woman from going after what you want? So he's telling you to move like this, or he's moving or doing stuff because that is what is pleasurable to him at that point. Or perhaps he also thinks that that's what's pleasurable to you, but you're not talking, you're not saying anything. How is he supposed to know? Again, it goes back to that place where, that point where I made earlier, where I said women think that men are supposed to automatically know how to pleasure a woman. It's not true. You have a responsibility for your pleasure as a woman. It's okay to say, you know what, I enjoy it like this. Okay, it's okay to say, you know what, can you do this to me? Can you touch me like this? Can you do that? Can you do that? It's okay to say that. It doesn't mean that you are spoiled or that you are anything like that. Going for your pleasure, I mean, it's absolutely encouraged for both women and men, actually. So again, I want to say thank you, Prof, for that.
Women, go for your pleasure. It is not for the men alone. You know, the way we were brought up now, wow. You know, they make us say all those things. If you start doing that or saying, talking like that, you are ashawo. Right? And that is
yes.
why, so please, you are here, you are hearing this. It is not. You should go for your pleasure. So we have questions in the chat box. Somebody said, Motolani said, how do you handle a situation where sex means different things to you and your partner?
Okay. In that okay, thank you. So in that situation, first of all, we want to understand what it means. Do you understand? So what does it mean to you? And then where is that meaning coming from? What does it mean to this other person, and where is that meaning coming from? And then how do we get to the point of, for lack of a better word, commonality? Yeah. So for some person, sex might mean pleasure, a way of showing love. Yeah. So if I'm not feeling loved, or if I feel like we're not connecting out of the bedroom, it's difficult for me to want to have sex with you because I don't feel love and I don't feel loved. Do you understand? So I'm finding it difficult to show you love in this way at this moment. Do you understand? I don't know if you understand what I mean. So for this to happen, that should be in place. For some people, that is basically what sex means to some people. For some people, it's about the moment, the pleasure, the release and what have you. So, and I think that's a good example. Yes, I know for some people, sex is a chore. For some people, sex means something good, something bad, whatever. But let's stick with the first two examples, where one is like looking at it for, okay, it's just a release, good time. And the other person is looking at it from the angle of, I love you, and so I want to show you love with sex as well. So if I'm not feeling loved by you, it can affect how I want to connect with you sexually. So in that kind of case, it's not as if it's bad, they're just on different pages, yeah? But the point is, you want to make each person understand where it's coming from. So this person who feels like sex is a release and the physical pleasure and what have you, how do you help this person understand that this person needs to be able to understand that, look, for this person, these things that you're looking at as just the physical and just the act, it means more to her emotionally. Do you understand? And so it means that for you to be able to get this, you need to be able to let this happen. So it means that both couples have to come to that place of understanding. Yeah. And then the other person too also has to understand. So even though both of us are on different paths and we're looking like, I'm okay, you are the one that is not okay yet. Do you understand that kind of Johari window kind of parole? The other person also needs to understand, look, for this person, sex is about enjoying himself and enjoying you. So in actual fact, it's actually a compliment to you that he desires you enough to want to enjoy this kind of intimate expression with you. So a lot of times what we want to do is change the meaning. Yeah, because what a lot of couples are seeing, because all of this communication and all of this understanding is not really coming through. It's not that they're not saying it, but it's not coming through. They're not understanding it. What they're saying is rejection. What they're saying is, you are saying no to me. What they're saying is, you don't love me, so I can't love you like this right now. Do you understand? What they're saying is, you're saying no to me and all of that. And because there are a lot of emotions, where you're a couple, so when somebody says something beyond what the person is saying, you're reading meaning to it with all of the emotions that surrounds that situation. Do you understand? But when you have somebody who probably is non-partisan, and that person can say, okay, can we objectively look at what this means to this person? So sometimes you want to be able to bring them to that place of objective understanding of what sex means to each other, to the other person, so they can then begin to find that common ground. So I hope that answers the question.
I hope that answers the question. So there is a need for both parties to meet in the middle. And this is also buttressed by what you said initially, saying that people should talk about it. Where do you want to be touched? What makes you find fulfillment or find that pleasure that you're looking for? Because somehow we are dead to our body. For women, we don't even try to explore. We don't even know. We just let it go. But if you pay attention and you are intentional, when you want to do this, you know what you really want for yourself. You know how your body feels. Then you will know what to ask for. So I think I will also add to it that we should pay attention to ourselves and be intentional. Don't tune off. There's that tendency to just tune off and you don't even know. Let them just do and go. Don't tune off. If you want to have sex and enjoy. Thank you so much. Allow me.
Thank you, Ebu. Yeah. I think she said, okay. So the person sent actually the other part of the message to say, we are both very busy people. I want sex when I'm tired. He wants to sleep when he's tired. So I probably that's what she meant by that question. I mean, and the truth is sometimes we want to be able to compromise. So sex when you are tired, what does it do for you? Basically, is it like a sleeping dose just to help you sleep well? It's not a bad thing, actually. It's not a bad thing at all. It's good. I mean, but the other person wants to sleep when he's tired. So the question is, can we find a timing that works for both of us? Yeah. So, I mean, it's perhaps not necessarily fair to rob him of sleep so that you can have sex or whatever, I mean, or the case may be. Yes, from time to time it can happen. I mean, we give concessions, we make concessions, but can we also find a timing that works where at the very least, nobody is disgruntled? So I think finding a timing that works can help. Or again, like I said, sex is not just intercourse. If sex so you want sex when you are tired, can sex be anything other than intercourse? Can he maybe finger you to sleep, or I don't know, finger you to orgasm, or suck your boobs, or find some way around it, as opposed to having to use his penis to penetrate. So do you understand? So they're basically options. It just, I mean, let's be open-minded, and also let's try to see how we can, make it work for both parties at the same time. Okay.
Yeah.
So sorry, Ebun, there's another question here. Should I read it?
Yes, I was going to read the question in the chat box actually.
Okay, please go ahead and read it, so I'll just respond. I
So,
wasn't sure if you had seen it.
Says, please, this story around sexual compatibility nowadays, that single says they want to check before marriage. What do you think about it? I think it may lead to unhealthy comparisons. What's your experience as a therapist, please?
Okay, so again, people have the freedom to make their choice. Yeah. However, from my experience as a therapist, I don't think that having sex outside marriage is a determinant of sexual compatibility in marriage. Compatibility is not just about how engaging we are during sex. There is the issue of frequency. Yeah. There's sexual compatibility around frequency, around pleasure, around preference, and around even timing. Do you understand? So there are a lot of issues around sexual compatibility. As a matter of fact, I honestly do not think that sexual compatibility before marriage will guarantee sexual compatibility in marriage, but people have the freedom to choose what they want to do. Will it lead to unhealthy comparisons? Very interesting questions. In some cases, if we're being honest, in some cases it does, where people would say, oh, my previous person was like this. Yeah, the previous person with me was like this and like this. So it could. However, the onus now lies on the couple to be able to understand that even if we've had it with different people in the past, we need to be able to come to this table as tabula rasa, as blank slates, and say, I'm with a new person now, and I need to be able to understand this person's body, sexual experiences, sexual pleasure, basically what have you. Do you understand? So the onus lies on, I mean, it's people's decisions to want to be sexually active before marriage. It's their decisions. But when it comes to comparison, we have to, when it then comes to getting married, it's very, 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 very important to then come to the table as a blank slate, and not start to say, oh, I want to take what I've learned from this person and then use it here, or the person I've been with in the past was like this, and then I'm going to believe that this person should. So yes, it does lead to unhealthy comparisons. I agree. However, I think that the solution to that would be for people to come together as, when coming together, to come as a blank slate, as opposed to saying, okay, yes, I'm going to bring all of those things that I've learned, and it must work for us in this relationship.
Thank you so much. I want to say at this point that please, if you are in marriage counseling unit in your church, or you belong to a church or a mosque, and you know the people on the marriage counseling committee, you need to share this knowledge with them. We should not assume that all those people that comes for counseling are virgins. So we need to talk about what Olawumi just mentioned, to say, see, bring it to the table. If you have done it before, you're not supposed to compare. You need to learn this person's method. You need to learn, and this person needs to learn yours, so that the two of you will not have trouble. And if you have younger ones, you need to talk about all this with them. There's so many homes breaking, so many marriages breaking these days. And sex is one of the things. Because when we sit with them in counseling, it is, and funny thing, this silent culture is really killing us. This silent culture is really, really killing us. And it is high time we start talking about it. And this is one of the things we do during our family meetings. This is one of the things we stand for as an organization, to educate people and open their minds to new knowledge, to new things. Please don't let us, we can't use the old curriculum to run this present life. It will not work. And that is what, see, this generation, they know a lot. You can't box them off. I said it the other time. There's another question in the chat box by Okbayemi. He said, for someone who has low libido and strength, what can be taken to enhance sexual pleasure, please?
Okay, all right. So thank you, Penny. Okay, so I think because I think because I'm a therapist, I always have to do some backstories or give some context to everything. So I mean, so let me just explain this. When we talk about low libido and strength, there's so many things that could cause it. Yeah. And so first of all, I'm just going to say this right off the bat. As a psychotherapist, I'm not licensed to prescribe herbs or medication to anybody. So I cannot say, go and take stamina tea or anything like that. I'm not licensed to do that. So I can't do that in the first place. But here's what I'm going to tell you. There are a lot of things that could affect an individual's libido, yeah? And if you look at it, it could be physiological, it could be psychological, it could be social. So let's start from the physiological. Your low libido could be caused by a dip in testosterone levels. So if testosterone is the primary sex hormone. If testosterone levels are not where they should be, it makes sense that you would have a low libido. Whether you're a man or a woman. So I don't even know if this question is by a man or a woman, but I'm just going to answer it. You understand? So if your T levels are low, then that could be responsible for low libido. So if you have low testosterone levels and you're going to drink agbo from somebody, you might be doing yourself a disservice. So you want to check your hormones and be sure. So for women, the hormone estrogen is responsible for vaginal lubrication. Now, if you're not lubricating properly and then you have intercourse, it makes sense that intercourse might not be pleasurable for you because you're not lubricating properly. And if it's not pleasurable for you, what happens? You don't really want more of it, yeah? So your hormones, in terms of the one even responsible for vaginal lubrication, can cause you to not have to have a reduced desire for sex because you're not enjoying the experience. Excuse me. For women too, some birth control methods can also be responsible for low libido. I've had clients where once they took out their birth control, especially the hormonal ones, they were like rabbits and bunnies all over the place. So the physiology is there. Some people are on certain medications, maybe for some medical conditions, high blood pressure, cancer, and what have you. I mean, different kind of medications that could also affect the libido. So that's the physiology, that's the biological part of it. Now, we also want to look at your and your lifestyle. Is there stress in your life? If you are stressed, it makes sense that at the end of the day, you just want to sleep. Some people don't want sex at that point. Their bodies and minds are not even thinking sex. They just want to sleep. So a man goes to work all day, blah, 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 and then he comes back, he's tired. I think one of the best kept secrets out there is that there are actually men who have a lower desire than their wives. There are a lot of women who are high. So I know that what we hear a lot is the man is high, the woman is low. But the truth is that there are a lot of women who have much higher libidos than their husbands as well. Do you understand? So a man, I said that because I was giving the example of a man who goes to work and is tired at the end of the day and then he just wants to sleep. Some people think that, oh, most men will want sex at the end. It's not all men, honestly, please. So a man could go to work, he's tired, he just wants to sleep. Stress. Or a woman, she's going to work, running her business, and she's also responsible for the family. She has no time to herself, has no time to rest. How for crying out loud will she want sex? Do you understand? So stress is a major factor. Also your life, diet, exercise, those things could also be a factor. Yeah. Improvement in your diet, exercise. So improvement in how you take care of your body can also affect, one, your sexual confidence, and two, your sexual performance in terms of your physical functioning. Yeah. So it can affect your sexual confidence, which could also lead you to, to want more sex or be more sexually active. It could also affect even how your sexual responses, stronger erections, better vaginal lubrications, and what have you. And of course, there's the other part, the psycho part around the mind. How do you think about sex? What does sex mean to you? How do you see sex? Then, of course, there's the part about the pleasure itself. Is there pleasure there for you or not? So first of all, with all of these stories I've said, my point is, first of all, I want us to please rule out physiological causes of low libido first, or ascertain that there are no physiological causes. Once you've done that, then we can look at other interventions that could help in terms of low libido. But please, first of all, let us ascertain whether or not there are physiological causes before you start trying to take stuff that people peddle in a bid to improve sexual desire.
Yeah, I hope she has been able to answer that. Work on your physiology, the psychological part. So allow me, I want to talk about the power of the mind when it comes to sex.
Yeah.
Did you get that?
Yes, yes, I did. No, I was saying a question. I was saying a comment there.
Okay.
Yes, so you were saying the power of the mind when it comes to sex. Yes, absolutely. I think that that's something that, for lack of a better word, I think that it is evident, basically, the power of the mind, how we think about sex, how we perceive sex. Can I tell you something very interesting? I worked with a man once who was having some sexual challenges with his wife. The wife wanted more, he didn't want as much. And it's not that he didn't enjoy it, yeah? The issue was that when he would have sex and ejaculate, he'd be tired. And he's someone who has a lot of deadlines at work. Yeah? And so he would have sex, he'd be tired, he would knock off and then he would sleep. On occasions, he had missed deadlines because of that. So it's not that the sex was not pleasurable. It was the implication of what happened afterwards. It was the consequence of, of that pleasure, if I may use that word. That was the problem. So I don't know if you understand what I mean. Like something as what we will say mundane, something as mundane as that caused the man to start saying, okay, to start basically withdrawing from sex in some ways. Because he had experiences where he slept off, he was so tired, knocked off, slept off, he got to work late, boss gave him a whole lot of issues. Other experiences where he missed the deadlines. So for him, it wasn't that sex was not pleasurable. It was the consequence of that pleasure that made him start to withdraw from sex. So he would only want to have sex when there's no deadline looming. Do you understand? And that doesn't work for the wife. The wife is someone who wants it more and more and more. And then this one is saying, let us have sex and I don't have, well, how many times would you have deadline for crying out loud? Do you understand? So imagine just that cognitive process around sex, what it had meant to him, even though there was pleasure for him, it had come to mean something else. And the mind is very powerful when it comes to sex, very powerful. How we perceive sex, how we think of sex, everything, what we believe about sex, everything around it. It's very, very powerful. So I think it's not that it's very important that we get our minds right around sex. And, sometimes, a lot of times we have to break down, challenge some of the beliefs that we have about sex and say, is this really true? Do these beliefs serve me? Is there a different way to be able to achieve what I can achieve? If this becomes, so in the case of that man, it was an obstruction, but is there a different way to achieve what I need to achieve without our sex life suffering? Do you understand? So a lot of times we need to break down a lot of these limiting beliefs or these thoughts or perceptions or associations around sex that may not serve us in our marriages. So yes, the mind is, absolutely, absolutely very important.
Thank you so much. So I have a question here, but before then, let me read what Amala said. Amala said, I think for women too, how they are treated outside the bedroom may affect sex.
Absolutely. I think we spoke about it when I was answering that question where someone said, how do you reconcile when two people think of sex differently? And where I was saying that for someone, sex means love. And then if she's not feeling love outside, she finds it difficult to translate to love inside the bedroom as sex. Do you understand? So absolutely, yes. And yes, for a lot of women and also men, it's not just women as a matter of fact. Also, for some men, that also applies. Yes, but again, we just need to know what exactly works for each person. There are people that, look, we can be fighting and they're like, look, it's me and you that are fighting. The penis and vagina are not fighting. So let's do what we have to do. Do you get? But there are people that cannot, they will not be able to have sex with you if you're having a fight. If we're not good, we're not having sex. And aside from not even having quarrels or arguments, there are people who cannot have sex if they're not connecting emotionally. Do you understand? Or if they feel like the way you treat me outside of the bedroom is not right, and then you want me to treat you right inside of the bedroom. There are issues around that. So the onus lies on the couples to be able to understand what that means. So the effects of the treatment outside the bedroom do not stop outside the bedroom. They will also affect what happens inside of the bedroom. So yes, absolutely, that's right for a lot of people.
Okay, so I have two questions directed to me.
Okay.
Direct message. So please, what tips or advice can you give to a woman who feels shy to initiate sex with her man?
Okay. All right. What tips? So let me just, sorry. Let me just say this. So if I was in a therapy session, I would want to know why you are shy. I would want to know where exactly that shyness is coming from. Yeah. But I mean, for the sake of the fact that we are here, I'm not going to go into that. So let's just, go there. So if you're shy to verbally ask for sex, verbal communication is not the only way that you can ask for sex. Some people can send text messages. Do you understand? Or even if you don't want to say, I want sex, you can say, oh, I love what we did the other time. I love what you did to me. I really enjoyed it. Can we do it again? Do you understand? At least at that point, you're not face to face. You understand? For some people, the issue is the having to say it verbally that, oh, I want sex and stuff like that. For some people, you could use, text message and say something, to give that person an indication that, okay, I think madam wants something. Or for some people, it could be through touch. It's not physical, it's not vocal, it's not verbal, but it could be through touch. You are touching the person in a certain way. And when you are using such cues, please, you both need to have an understanding that this is what this cue means, yeah? So if I'm touching you in a certain way, we both need to have an understanding that that touch means something. Because I can just touch you like this, now you're thinking, oh, maybe I'm just being affectionate. We need to understand that I may not be able to say it now. I'm probably working up to that point where I'm able to verbally ask for sex. But please, when I touch you like this, try to understand that this is what I'm saying. But some people can put a note out or put something out to indicate that, okay, we want sex and basically all of that. Yeah, so you want to try some form of nonverbal communication, text, writing, touch, and all of that. Those are some things that can help you in terms of initiating sex without actually verbalizing. But if you were in a session with me, I would be very, very curious as to know what exactly makes you shy around sex and why that is. But for the sake of the group that we are, so let's just stick to that.
Thank you so much. It's 10:29 here, and allow me needs to run. But before then, any other question? And allow me, you're going to give us your last words. But somebody sent a message to me again. Though we have said you have mentioned this, but I guess the person just came in.
Okay.
How do you remain sexually active in marriage? I have lost interest in sex, but my wife hasn't. I am worried that she might cheat.
Okay. So, how do I put it? This question is very, how do I put it? It's a bit unique because I'd want to know what is the age of this person in question. What has caused the loss of interest in sex? Some of it could be around age, some of it could be the experience, some of it could be around even sexual functioning. So this person is a man. So for some, so I'm gonna use examples to answer this because I don't have this information. There are some men who start to struggle with erections at certain points in their life. Yeah. And what happens when a man begins to struggle with erection? He starts to get anxious and he starts to have what we call performance anxiety. Yeah. And so he wants, anytime the wife initiates sex, he's thinking, will I be able to get this thing up again? Will it work? Will it work? Performance anxiety. And what happens when a man begins to get anxious, instead of the brain producing the arousal response, instead of the brain sending that message for the arousal response, what happens is that he goes into anxiety. Do you understand? And when you are anxious, you don't need blood in your penis. So if blood was even starting to even go into the penis, once that anxiety interrupted the process, it will reverse. And then what happens is the blood goes away from your penis, you lose the erection, and of course you're not able to have sex. And then your wife is like, oh God, this again. So there's a lot of issues, factors around that. So I've seen cases where things like that happen with men, and because of that, they've lost interest in sex because they don't want to go through that cycle of disappointment, hearing that my wife is not satisfied, me feeling shame because I'm not able to satisfy her, and what have you. So that's why I say that this question is unique, and I really would have loved to have an understanding as to why this person, or what has caused this person to lose interest in sex. So if it's that, I mean, there are things that can be done to help the couple start to revive interest in sex. So it's not something that has to basically just die like that, but it would be helpful to know exactly what the person is struggling with, or why the person has decided that he or he doesn't have an interest in sex, for us to really be able to do justice to that question.
Thank you. So I'm going to mention that you can follow Olaomi on Instagram at I am Olaomi Eson. Olaomi.
Okay, so it is at Olaomi Eson.
Olaomi Eson. Yeah.
Yes.
Olaomi Eson. Just follow her, and you can send a DM to her. Do you want to share your contact so that people can reach you?
Okay, so let me just.
We are so going to the hospital to check our everything, but some of those things also we need to do checkup, marital checkup.
Yeah.
Talking about this for a while now from our organization, that you should take the marital checkup assessment. From there, you will know what's wrong, what's happening to you in your marriage, and you'll be able to find help. Please, you can reach out to Olaomi Eson on this. And Olaomi, sorry, I know that your time is far spent. There's a question here, and I would like you to respond to it. What is the best way of handling quick ejaculation?
Okay, so that question, I'm going to go back to the biopsychosocial that I spoke about, especially the physiology. Let's be sure that there are no physiological causes first. Yeah, let's be sure of that for the quick ejaculation. But one of the easy things that you could try to do is the start and stop method. It's just very direct, very straightforward, but it is a stopgap solution. For a proper solution, you need to first of all ascertain that there are no physiological causes first, or you need to check for physiological causes first. But a quick solution that you could use would be the start and stop method, where you basically manipulate arousal levels. So you start to maybe penetrate and all that, but you get to a point of arousal and then you stop. Please do not allow yourself get to the point of no return, because once you get to the point of no return, you will ejaculate. Yeah. So what you could do is allow arousal build when you're penetrating up to a point, and then you can stop. So you stop, and then when I say stop, you could stop penetrating, but you could continue stimulation on other areas of your woman's body and what have you. And then when you feel like you are a bit more in control of your arousal, you can start to build that arousal again. Do you understand? So basically, you are manipulating arousal levels to last a bit longer. But like I said, it's a stopgap solution. What you want to do is, first of all, check for medical causes before you even start doing any other thing first, please. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Amala is rooting for you. She said, please follow her. Oh, she got great.
Thank you. Thank you, Amala. Thank you. Thank you.
That's a good one. Okay, so thank you so much. Allow me. It's been a beautiful one. Like I mentioned,
thank you for having me.
Learning from myself, and I believe that quite a number of people here, you have learned a lot. So if you have found value in what we have done this morning, can you celebrate Olaomi in the chat box?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you to the Institute. Anything for the Institute.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Please, let's celebrate Olaomi Eson. And while we are doing that, I want you to know that you can, like I said, we need to learn to check how our marriages are doing. We don't have to wait till it is going to crash. We don't have to wait till it is in coma before we start running around. Just like you are sick, or you go and do your regular yearly checkup, medical checkup. The same way you need to check yourself maritally, and I have dropped the link in the chat box to take the marital assessment. This will help you know the condition, and you'll be able to know where to find help, what exactly you need to know, or what exactly you need to do to help your marriage grow and enjoy bliss. Thank you so much once again, everyone, for joining us. Like I mentioned when we started, The organization will be embarking on an outreach in the month of April. That is our child sexual abuse. That's the National Child Sexual Abuse Month, Prevention Month, National Child Sexual Abuse Prevention Month. That's in April, and we're trying to raise some money to produce our book, the book will be distributed to primary school children. Okay, so the book, the link is up there, please. Let me repost it. The books will be distributed. Sakule, can you please drop the account number for Center for Sex for people that want to support or want to sponsor copies of the books? It's a copy costs 2,500, and we're looking at reaching 5,000 children in the month of April. And so we appreciate if you can join us in helping those children. We are trying to save the future, because we know that some of those children, you know, this sex thing we are talking about, some of the challenges people have is because they have been abused. And this go a long way to affect them in the future, even in their marriages. And so we want to prevent it. We believe in prevention is better than cure. Yes, Peter, you're going to get the replay. It will be sent to you via your email. So we are trying to do the prevention is better than cure for our children in the public primary schools. And so we're going to distribute the book to them. The Super Kids book teaches children how to identify the predators and the things to do. That is what the book does to the children. And so we want to reach like 5,000 children in the month of April. And we will love it because you're family members. We love it that you join us in this campaign, you join us in this advocacy. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining once again. Mr. Kunle, I'm still looking forward to, I can't see. So the link is there. I'm trying to type in the link now, but I need Mr. Kunle to drop the account details. Thank you very much. Yeah, to support the project, kindly send your donations to this Zenith account number. And to not put on read to somebody. And to take the assessment to check your, for the marital assessment, the marital checkup, I'm trying to type it again. Please click on this link. It will take you to where we have the assessment. Yeah, thank you. To take you to where you have the assessment, and you can check. It's very important. You don't have to wait till your marriage is ending. Like we mentioned when we started, that this silent culture is killing us, and we need to find a solution to this. People need help, and they need to open up. You need to talk. And I always mention this, that people reach out. We have family members that reach out to us for counseling, and we know that quite a number of families have been helped through this program. So we're not just doing this program. We want you to enjoy peace. We want you to enjoy bliss. And this is why we are doing it. This is free. Ordinarily, some other organizations, we ask you to pay for it. But with the value of information we give every year, every month, you should know that it's worth it, and you need to help yourself. We are trying to help you, and you also need to help yourself. Thank you so much once again. And with this, we come to the end of Family Meeting, the March edition. Next month, we are coming with another topic, which is going to be very exciting. Next month, I think we want to look at divorce and the people in that space. I want you to look forward to our email and our messages to you. Thank you so much. If you have found value at the meeting today, can you show it? How do you feel? What do you think about this meeting? I want to read from you. I want the feedback. You want us to continue? Are you getting bored or something? Yes, feedback. And don't forget, thank you, Amala. Thank you so much. And don't forget to check. Thank you, Okpeyemi. Don't forget to do your marital checkup, very important. Then the account details is there for sponsorship. Thank you so much, everyone. There is no family meeting without you guys. Thank you, Peter. This is a very beautiful feedback. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Ayana Tay. Ayana Tay, how are you? Good to have you here. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Okpeyemi. Thank you, Isaac. Thank you, Esther. Thank you, Young. Dada Dorcas, always around. Thank you so much, Grace. Thank you, Chi. As many that signed up for this, you will get a replay link in your email box very soon. Cecilia, thank you for joining. Oluwatomi, Olufemi Ayegoro, thank you. And with this, we come to the end of the meeting. Have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful weekend. Thank you, Olukunle. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. See you next month, guys. See you next month. And please feel free to reach out to us if you need any assistance. Feel free to reach out. It is strength to ask for help. Thank you, Peter. Thank you so much, Peter. It is strength to ask for help. It is not a weakness. Thank you, Amala. Thank you so much. Thank you, Chi. That your dreams came true.